Once again, my name is Kevin Barral. Today, I am with Octavio Sequera. Octavio, how are you, my man?
Good, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, let's get started with the first topic. Who won the trade deadline this season?
Denver Nuggets, by far. Denver Nuggets, by far. I mean, the fact that last year they were able to defeat the Clippers and the Utah Jazz coming back from the 3-0 deficit, and just adding Gordon, adding that depth, and not only because they're now going to have more tall guys that they can rebound, not only because they're only going to be like really good on the paint, but also in the perimeter. Aaron Gordon, what is it, like 37% from the 3-point range? That's a lot for a tall guy. They've been playing good. It hasn't been the regular season that we would expect it because of what happened in the postseason last year. But definitely they're adding key pieces at this moment in the season. Like, if this is the right time to make this type of additions. Honestly, I have to put with the Denver Nuggets as a big winners because it's more than just acquiring players. It's just about, like, they didn't get too much and they didn't give too much. I'm sorry. And just think about this for a second. You're going to play big with Gordon and Jokic, but then you also have depth in those two guys, not only at the moment, but by rebounding, but also by shooting from the perimeter, which is very rare for a tall guy in today's NBA. Like, for example, the Portland Trail Blazers, they got this guy. They're going to play small because, I mean, with acquisition, what was the guy?
Norman Powell.
Yeah, I got this name. So Powell. Yeah, Powell's going to play along with Dame Time and of course, CJ McCollum, and they're going to be like shooters, which is what I think Miami did, which is very good for Miami. Also, Miami, I think, of course, if you have to put winners and losers, Miami is definitely one of the winners. I think the Clippers won big time. And I don't know, but I got this feeling that the Clippers are now going to be able to fight for the championship. I don't know. It's something that it's like a good aura that chases Rajon Rondo the last couple of years. I mean, I didn't see that coming with the Lakers, and it turns out that he was a beast during the playoff. And there's this thing called playoff Rondo, and he turns it up with the Clippers. I don't see how they're not going to be able to win the whole thing. But that's getting ahead of myself because that will be talking about a lot of winners or several winners and several losers. If I have to pick one, I would go with Denver as one. Number two, I'm definitely going to go with Miami, even though I would love what's happening with the Clippers. But then the Clippers will be a solid number three. But big winner, Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I agree with you. Denver Nuggets number one, Miami number two. Miami didn't either have to give up any young assets, Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero. They got a really good deal with Houston. Sacramento, they didn't give up much either. And now the buyout market's going to be in their favor big time. The other one is Denver. I do think they overpaid a little bit for Aaron Gordon because if you look at the trade the Boston Celtics did with Fournier, they only give up 2 second rounders. I thought they were going to give up a lot more to have to get a guy like Fournier. With Nikola Vucevic, I didn't expect them to trade him, but it happened. But in this case, Miami is a big time winner. I mean, you didn't have to give up Tyler Hero because the asking price for the Raptors from Kyle Lowry was huge. They wanted Tyler Hero. They wanted Duncan Robinson, Precious Achiuwa. So that was way too much. And that's probably that's why I would put the Raptors as a loser.
As the biggest loser, honestly. Well, you know what? No, I'll take that back. The biggest loser for me are the Lakers. I don't know. Maybe the Lakers think that they're. I don't know. You can blame it like.
With the team they have right now, not that they're not going to make it, but they're going to be in the play-in tournament.
Okay, but let me tell you something. The team they have right now, okay, it's the current champions, but they don't have Rondo. I don't know about Schroeder in the playoff.
They don't even have LeBron or AD.
They don't have it. Yeah, but let's just say that those guys are gonna go back and gonna come back healthy. But how in terms of game rhythm? I mean, are they going to be 100% game rhythm wise? Are they going to be 100% in the first round? They're going to win the first round for sure. But then when it gets complicated in the second and third round, and finally in the conference finals, that's when you're going to have to see what type of rhythm do they have. Anthony Davis hasn't played a game since when? I don't know. It's been a while. Yeah, and LeBron getting absent now. Okay, for the other athlete, you might think, well, it's good because it's gonna rest. But this is the thing with LeBron: the more he's outside the court, the worse he gets. It's the guy needs to play. It's like this, and mentally, LeBron is always prepared to play for the whole season. He said it himself. If I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm going to play. I don't believe in this resting periods of time like what happened with Kawhi in the past, with San Antonio, with Toronto, even with the Clippers.
Yeah.
So LeBron needs the activity. And yes, they're the defending champs. Fine. They can turn it up like this and they will be good in the playoffs. But not adding anybody and now depending on a buyout from Andrew Drummond. Okay.
It's not going to happen, most likely.
Yeah. The same thing with LaMarcus Aldridge in Miami. But listen, you're not going to beat. I just don't see them beating the Brooklyn Nets with what they have. Honestly, I don't. And I don't know about Denver, but definitely with the Clippers, I don't know. So that's why I put the Lakers as a big time losers in this trade deadline. Also, I will go with Toronto because basically with Toronto, you could have rebuilt or at least get a lot of pieces for. I mean, in a good sense, it's not a realistic way. You're not going to ask the entire farm system or all the round picks for.
That's what they did pretty much.
Exactly, but that's the problem because they were not realistic expectations and they weren't realistic as you could have been.
And they were getting pretty good returns from many teams.
Exactly.
They just didn't get the premium package they wanted either.
And I don't think they're going to pay Kyle Lowry in the free agent market. I think they're going to end up losing him for nothing. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They're big losers, but I'll go with Lakers number one.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers could have they could have probably taken Kyle Lowry if they'd given Talon Horton Tucker. That was the only thing that was holding them back. Mm-hmm. This is a team that wants to win right now. They don't have pretty much any future young players on that team. The only one they have right now is Horton Tucker and Alex Caruso. I would have given up Tucker, and you would have had one heck of a player in Kyle Lowry who could have helped you right now.
Yeah, right
instead
now.
And he could have re-signed with that team because if I'm pretty sure if he got traded, he was getting the extension too.
Yeah, for 1 or 2 years. 1 or 2 years, which is still good for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would have been good. It would have been good. Now let me ask you this: if this has to pay off, right? I mean, like these winners or losers are something that we always talk about because it's what we expect. Now, realistically speaking, how good would it be like immediately? And let's talk about Miami here for a second. How good is the addition of Oladipo right now, knowing this? He knows the conference because he played a lot of time, not only with the Pacers, but also with the Magic then. But also in the system of Miami. Miami's going to defend like probably it'll be the best defensive team in years. The other day not the other day. I think it was last week. I was just checking numbers and everything. Dude, it's not too far the comparison with the 2013 team. Remember the 2013 team when they won 27 games in a row and they were defending, they were like practically not allowing any points to any other team. Well, the comparison with this, if they're all healthy, it's the same. Now, will that make a lot of more pressure? Would that put a lot of more pressure into their shooters? Are they willing to take that role? Because you know that Jimmy Buckets can ball, and you know that Oladipo can ball in both ways. They are two-way players. But focusing too much on the defense, will that affect, negatively speaking, the offense of Miami? How do you think it's going to impact that? What's the impact for Oladipo as of now?
I mean, he's going to bring scoring, that's for sure. I mean, Pat Riley had the press conference yesterday. He said Victor Oladipo's here to mainly score, even though he is a really good defensive player because we've seen it. He's been scoring really well with any team. Right now, he's injured, I'm pretty sure. But once he comes back, and now not only did they add Oladipo, they added Bjelica. So they got pretty much a replacement for Olynyk when you look at it. So you had a really good three-point shooter. And as of the defense, the Heat have been really good on defense this season. I mean, they're running the 2-3 zone when things get really bad, and they're running like kind of a man-to-man kind of.
Yeah.
But they're locking teams up. I mean, yesterday's game was a fluke at the end. It was really bad.
It was
If
a
you saw the
foul.
game,
I think it was a foul, like a
yeah, it was just a
yeah,
touch. Yeah,
touch. But you know what? That's the same thing happened in the NHL. They're calling those penalties. Well, in the NHL they call penalties, but those fouls are called COVID fouls apparently, and that is because I don't know. Sometimes like they're. I mean, this a couple of years ago they never would have called it, but okay, that's fine. You know what? That's happened, and probably in the playoffs that's going to happen again. Now, I hear what you're saying, and I just want to add this. Okay, they're going to stop teams from scoring, but are they good enough to stop the Nets? Because basically, let's just face it, that's the team.
That's a different level of greatness right there. The Nets.
There we go.
They're the best team in the league. They're beating the Lakers in the finals if they meet up.
They're beating the Lakers for sure.
And if Drummond signs with that team, it's over.
It's over, and that's another point. So, and this is something that we were. I don't know.
There is one thing that's wrong with the Nets. They're not always healthy. Kevin Durant, James Harden, and KD, they've only been on the court 7 times.
But they're gonna be together in April, and they're gonna be together. And contrary to LeBron, KD is one of the players who can actually benefit from the resting time. LeBron needs the activity. KD finds his inner self. I don't know how to put it, but anyways, he comes back really strong after he gets rested. We saw that with the Warriors when they were administrating the time, and then we even saw that with OKC in the last year. Even though they choked in that Game 6 against the Warriors, but still, I mean, he's the type of player that you can expect the best after he gets some rest, and that's going to be interesting. Now, we were talking about winners and losers. What about the Boston Celtics?
They're losers.
They have nothing to compete this year.
They traded Daniel Tice. They traded their starting center for nothing for a young player. They're not making the playoffs, in my opinion. I mean, they're going downhill. They're going downhill.
Even if they do, they're going out in the first round.
They're either going to get swept, playing tournament at this point.
Which is very ironic to think with you have talents like Jaylen Brown and you have talents like Jason Tatum, and you see, well, this is the next generation. They play better without Kyrie. And now, honestly, Kyrie has to be the last man standing. Not only that, but he has to have the last laugh because they can see, I left this team and I created my own team and I'm having a great year, a great season with the Brooklyn Nets, even though all the controversy and everything. But at the end of the day, the Brooklyn Nets are ruling the NBA, and this is fantastic. I don't know. I think it's about that. Now, what about the Sixers? You know who they are, right? With George Hill. That's a guy, if you ask me, have you ever heard about the curse of the Bambino for the Red Sox? I think that's the curse of George Hill in the NBA, bro. I mean, wherever he plays, that team for some reason doesn't make it. It happened with the Bucks. It happened with the Pacers. It happened with pretty much all the teams he has been.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's something is like mythology. But I don't.
It's a good addition, though. It's a really good addition.
It is. But I don't know. I don't think. Well, this guy is playing an MVP level. Joel Embiid is playing like an MVP.
He's injured now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, but he's gonna come back for sure.
Oh yeah.
And they're making the playoffs. And they're making the playoffs. Ben Simmons, I don't know what kind of Ben Simmons are we going to see in the postseason as well. But yeah. So, but I like just humor me with this because it's not about the talent. I know George Hill could be a good backup as a point guard, but I mean the bad luck just seems to chase this guy. I don't know.
Yeah. And if we're also talking about winners, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. They added they added an all-star center. Yeah. They did add they made some other I think that's the only move they made, if I'm correct.
Well, significant is that one, yeah. Honestly, that has to be the number one because with Tice, they add that. I mean,
it's an all-star duo now, Zach LaVine and
Yeah, with LaVine and Vucevic, I mean, it's gonna be interesting, especially in the Eastern Conference. Now, will they make the playoffs? I don't know, but with the
playing tournament probably.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that. Yeah,